Having confidence out the bunkers is kind of a secret weapon. I just want to give you something that's very constructive, that's going to give you the drill to practice. You've probably seen the line drill, where we draw a line in the sand here, and we're told that as we swing, we want to strike that line, okay? Strike that line as your low point, and that's going to give you the consistency. There is a big problem with this. Almost subconsciously in a way, the ball becomes the line. So a lot of times, if we've practiced trying to hit the line, we end up actually hitting the ball way too clean, thinning it over the green, whatever it might be. This happens a lot. But the reason why this, in theory, line drill is to work, because it helps you focus on where you actually want to strike the sand. But here's the main thing you need to remember. The ball is always going to be just in front of where you're going to strike the sand. You have to have it here. This isn't the focus, this is the focus, okay? So you have to remember that. But I'm going to give you something that's going to make this a little bit easier. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you one of the best drills I know to really refine your contact. It's actually fun to do, and it's called the mountain drill. Here's one way to get the most out of this line drill, okay? What I want you to do with this strong line here, and the reason why we want this line is because we want to strike the sand, the consistent amount behind it here, so we can glide under it. So we're not taking the ball too much, and we're not digging down too much. Being able to predict where you're going to strike the sand is a really good consistency booster. What I want you to do, we're going to draw a line again, okay? It's not exactly a straight line, but it'll do. What we're going to do here, without even hitting shots, I'm going to practice, and I want you to do the same. I want you to practice hitting maybe 4 or 5 swings before the line, okay? So I actually struck down here. I'm going to do about 4 or 5 swings of that. Now I'm going to try and hit the sand after the line. So it's going to be just after that way, okay? This is enabling me to predict my contact. Now I'm going to try and make it where I actually strike the sand at the line, okay? More or less. Got that a little bit behind here. But by doing that, I start to calibrate myself about how to, strike the sand. So when the ball is there, I know that I actually want to strike it about here. But because I've rehearsed it, I'm not going to be striking it back. I'm not going to be striking it forward. I'm going to be striking on that line. And that's how we get a nice, solid contact. It's predictable, and we can control our distances from there too. Now it's time for the mountain drill. This is one of my favorites because I'm going to draw a line again, but what I'm actually going to do here is create little mountains of sand, all right? And you think, well, bunker shots are not going to be like that. We're sort of teeing it up. But here's the good thing. I mentioned confidence earlier, right? That we want to have confidence when we're hitting the ball. When we sort of tee it up like this, I can actually focus on the line, which is basically just more or less here. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to try and make sure that I get under this sand shot by striking the sand, clearing the mountain out of the way. And when we tee it up in a way with our feet by pulling the sand together, I can now just trust that I can get under this, but I can have a smooth tempo. And here's one of the other things people forget. They get choppy and snatchy. Having a nice smooth tempo and hitting that mountain out of the way creates the most wonderful strikes. And for a lot of you, that's going to be quite a new experience because it's that spanking sand where we're using the bounce of the club. We're taking the mountain away, hitting it onto the green, and the ball is following. So it's about that low point control and that acceleration. So tee it up on this little mountain of sand and try a couple of practice swings where we're not even hitting the ball, we're striking the sand, we're hitting that mountain. And you can almost hear the sound difference. We're not digging into the mountain, we're not missing the mountain. We're collecting the perfect amount of sand underneath the ball to get that wonderful spank. And that's what's going to give you the spin, control, confidence, all the good stuff. Thanks for watching. If you want to make sure that you don't end up in the bunker quite as frequently, check out this lesson here. It's going to give you something simple to hit more greens. See you next time.